Hello, everyone. Virtual upline training today. So we have now already the middle of January. And what does that mean? That means that month is already halfway over. Why do I point this out? It's because most of us are coming off 2023, fully intending to do something different in 2024, and we end up doing zero with it because we're not changing our habits necessarily, right? We are having an idea. And why are we not changing our habits? It's most of the time, the reason why you're not successful is because you are not really believing that it's for you. You are not changing your paradigm. You're not changing the blueprint. You're not changing your thoughts around your business. And it's all just a mindset thing. In order to build a business, in order to build a side hustle, a full-time business, whatever it is you're trying to do, you have to believe that that is doable. So let me tell you this. When you go to your full-time job, you are knowing that that is what you do. You sit there for whatever your 8 hours and you're going to get a paycheck, and that is certain. Okay, that is certain. If you show up, you have agreed on a salary, you're getting a salary, that concept is known to you. So you know that when you get there, you're going to get paid 2 weeks later, right? In your network marketing business, in your online business, if you're a coach or network marketer, it doesn't matter. If you're building a business online, you have to do the same principle. You have to show up, you have to work, and then ideally 2 weeks later, you're going to get paid. But something is amiss over here. Somehow we are not thinking that that's going to happen because we don't really know for certain. And that's where it messes with the mindset. That's where it messes with, okay, we work longer than 2 weeks. We are not checking our performance. We're not checking our goals. We're not checking where we are. We're just showing up, right? And for some reason, we're expecting that when we just show up, that we should be getting paid. Now, because I have Laura on here and I know she's a preschool teacher for trade, I'm going to just use her as an example. If Laura would show up to her job as a preschool teacher in the classroom for the threes, when she's expected to be working in the classroom of the fours, do you think she would get paid long? Probably not. Probably the boss would say, well, wait a minute, she's not showing up for her job in the fours. And she says, yeah, but I showed up in the threes. So why shouldn't I expect to get paid? That is the same scenario that we have when we build our business. If we lack the clarity of where we are and what our next step and our goals should be. This whole week in the Walk It Free Challenge, as well as in this training, we are talking about prioritizing our goals. Okay, and having clarity around our goals. Last week, we've talked about defining the specific goals and defining a clear goal. This is part of the whole month of January of clarity and goal setting. So when we think we are supposed to be getting paid for just showing up, yet that does not happen, right? Laura shows up in the threes instead of the fours. You show up online on Instagram when your clients are on Facebook. You're showing up in TikTok and you're supposed to be doing something else. You're showing up on posting something, but you're not showing up in Messenger, right? These things are all the same. However, what we make them believe is different. Okay, so in case of this preschool example, Laura is going to show up in the fours instead of showing up in the threes instead of the fours. The teacher that's already in the threes is probably going to tell her, excuse me, you need to go over here. And then she'll go over to the fours and she's going to work in the fours and she's going to get her paycheck 2 weeks later, right? We know this concept. Everyone is familiar with this concept. You show up to work, you're at the right spot. you're doing the right things, you get paid. For whatever reason, when we are in network marketing or building an online business, the dream is being sold. You just show up and be you, and you're going to get paid. And that's not true. And that's where everyone is failing. That's where you stop working, because you're expecting to be paid when you are not even clear where you're supposed to be, right? So how can we change that? How can we make sure that we're going to be in the right spot at the right time at the right thing? You have to reflect on where's your pavement, where's your ground floor of your house that you're building. Okay. When you think about your business, your network marketing business, as a house that you're building, don't look at the attic, meaning diamond on stage. Look at where are you at in this house. Do you have already influence? Meaning, do you already have an audience? Do you already have a brand? Meaning, who are you and what are you selling? Do you already have sales skills? Do you already have, like, we compare our journeys with our upline, or with our model mentor that we've seen somewhere, or with Sally Joe next door, whatever, right? We are comparing ourselves with these people, but we are not realizing that their journey may be something else. When someone's talking about a cold market, I've just had that conversation with one of my company's leaders there. She's like, well, this person is also in the cold market. And I'm like, no, that's a big difference, because this person in a cold market already has a thousands of people audience. Now, if she has that big of an influence and she says, buy this, guess how many people of a cold market are going to buy this? Simply by following the herd of realizing, oh my gosh, there's 100,000 people buying this purse. I should be also buying this purse, right? That's not a really cold market, because you already have established influence. But if you're somebody, which you probably are, starts out the network marketing, brand new, you're looking at an upline who has hundreds and hundreds of people, whatever, and you are sitting in your living room trying to make a sale from somebody that you don't know. If they don't have a brand that they can look at and say, oh, yes, that's what I want, there's some work that needs to be done. We've talked about the FAMing. We have talked about the ATQing. We have to talk about the brand, right? We've talked about the brand. Those aspects of the business have to be practiced, have to be put in place. That is your rooms. Those activities, are your rooms. Are you showing up on social media and just posting? If you are someone with 100,000 people influence, that might be enough. You might have a complete automated system. You make one post, you boost it up, and hundreds of people are buying it. But if you are somebody who is starting out, that's not your route. That's not where it's at. You have to make sure you post something, and you have to make sure you are showing up in Messenger, talking to the person. And you have to make sure you have something to tell that person. Okay. So why do I say that? It's important to reflect on, where are you at? Do you need to build your foundation? Do you need to build the walls? Do you need to build the roof? Do you need to build the interior design? Do you need to build your culture of a team because you already have a team? Or where are you focusing on, right? You want to be successful in your business. You cannot do it until you're really clear on what is it that you're focusing on. So you can do it all, but you can't do it all at the same time. And that's where our mind plays tricks on us, right there. We are being told all the time, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. And your mind says, I can't do it because I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't, That's what your brain tells you all the time. I can't do it. And so it's like there's this mismatch. So when you have the confusion and you have the mismatch, should I be in the room for the threes, or should I be in the room for the fours? Well, I should be in the room of the fours, but should I teach the threes curriculum, or should I, what should I like? What happens if you are not clear on where to be and what to do at that space? You're not doing anything. What's the result of not doing anything? 0 sales, which then confirms shouldn't be doing that in the first place, which backs up the old mindset belief of that is not a job that pays you in 2 weeks with a paycheck. Shouldn't be doing this. Am I right though? It's everyone, trust me, everyone has that same issue. I've had that issue and I still have that issue sometimes. I thought to myself, like, why is it possible to work for a full-time job for 8, 12 hours straight? No problem. But when it comes to building your own business, it's a really hard time to make and carve out maybe 15 minutes a day. How are you able to do a full-time job for 8 hours a day, but you cannot carve out 1 more hour of a day to build something that will then give you more financial freedom? That does not make sense. The only thing what the problem is that it makes sense in terms of not having certainty. This has certainty that you will, after 2 weeks, get this amount of money. This does not have certainty because you don't know for sure, will it make money? Will it not make money? And then you have the, I don't know what curriculum I should be teaching. I don't know what I should be doing. So where can we ground ourselves? Where can we get started? Because if you're not taking action, we can be certain you're not winning. Okay. So we need to break this blueprint. First of all, we need to break the fact that we think that we are comparing apples and oranges, and that it somehow should be the same result. Okay. That is something we consciously need to acknowledge, that this is not comparable with this, nor should we try. Okay. Secondly, we need to identify where are we really at. We need to be clear on our situation. Where are we at? Are we starting out? Are we already having influence? Are we already building something, or are we building an audience? Do we know who we are and we are just building an audience? Now, here's the thing. When I look at a goal of building an audience, what would that mean to win? See, we stop because we think we're failing, but what would it look like to win? What do we think about winning? So if growing an audience would be, you have more views on your reel, you have more views on your, this, you have more comments, you have more interactions, you have more subscribers, whatever it is that it looks like for you. I've just looked at my YouTube channel the other day and I said, I had a batch somehow. You had 30,000 views. And I thought to myself, I'm like, holy cannoli, what? I had a viral post the other day with, like, I stopped counting at 23,000 likes. And you know what? That excitement lasted exactly like 5 seconds. And then I was over it. And then I started realizing, like, yeah, and so what next? And then I started thinking to myself, it's because I'm not really clear on what I think my success is at this moment. And that is where the hang up is for a lot of people. Right? You are not understanding you're winning, so you're not feeling good. You're only thinking I'm winning when I make dollars, but that's the old belief. So to break through that and really work on developing a mindset that will bring you forward is you need to be clear. What is your goal right now, this month, next month, this quarter? What is your goal? Are you building a foundation? Do you need to build an audience? Do you need to build a habit that gives you a structure of regular posting? If I'm looking at how I'm preparing content now, in a matter of 3 hours, I am creating 16 reels, 4 trainings, posts for LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook groups, all of it. How am I able to do this? I'm doing my email marketing. How am I able to do this? It's because I have strategy behind it. I have strategy. I know my framework. I know what's my foundation. I know what I'm working on, and I know what my house is supposed to look like. And it took a while to work this. And it took a while to build this and to be clear on it. But once it gets clear, it just flows and it becomes fun. It becomes excitement. And you know what? Then when you get interrupted, you get up, and I made myself like a little thing. So it's fine because I know exactly what I need to be accomplishing, right? So I feel like I win. And I can just get up and I can scratch it and I can say, I've done this. Yep. Okay. And then I can say, look at me, I'm winning, because I am. That's what I'm working on. That is my goal. And that is where I'm progressing. It's about the progressing. It's about the working from bottom to where the next goal is. Now, if my next goal would be to be on stage with 7,000 people tomorrow, yeah, I'm going to have doubt. I should be having doubt because that's not the next step. So where are we focusing on? That's what's going to grow. Are we focusing on we are not in the right room and we don't know what to teach? Or are we focusing on what are we good at? What is our next step? Where do we want to go? What do we want to accomplish? And why do we want to accomplish that? Right? We talk about we need to make money, but we don't really want to talk about this. Let's talk about that money mindset, right? Because there's so much shame with that. We want to build a business, but we disguise the money aspect with, oh, we need to make an impact. Really? Yes, you want to make an impact eventually, but you want to make money. Okay? You can't feed your family with no money. You can't do things that you want to do with no money. And when has it become bad to say, I want to earn money? When has it become bad? What's wrong with this? Good people with a lot of money can do a lot of good things. Let that sink in for a second. It's like all these different opinions from people. They are just that. They're opinions. Okay? What you need to do in 2024 is to gain really big clarity of where are you at and what do you really want to do with your life. And in the Walk It Free Challenge, I've just talked about goals and health and your wellness and your mindset and all that stuff. And here I want to talk about your business. You will need money to do anything you want to do. That's just a fact. Okay? You can say, I want to be happy as a peach in a blanket when you don't have money to buy your house, to pay for the electricity and the heat and the food, and you want to have a vacation and you want to like give to your kids what they want. And if you don't have money, when you're old and you don't have money, without money, you don't have the happiness. Because you need it as a tool. It's a tool. Money is not happiness. That's right. But it's a tool you need, just like you need your toothbrush. You need your toothbrush, right? Every single day you need your toothbrush. You would never even see, and this is the craziness. It's your blueprint, right? You never even question the fact that you need the toothbrush. Need it for sure. But you don't need money. Not really. Yeah? How are you going to pay for your house? Taxes. Huh? Credit card. That's a good one. Credit card. Yeah, you're going to pay with your credit card. What are you going to do if they cut your spending limit? Guys, it gets really uncomfortable very fast. I've been there too. it gets very uncomfortable very, very fast when they cut your spending limit and you have zero money. And then out of the sudden, you're going to reconsider the fact that you need money. You need money. Okay. And so then you think, okay, oh, but it feels really yucky to be going out there and doing the things that everybody else feels is uncomfortable. That's also just a thought. So it's a thought that you are giving something away. Why is this thought there? Okay. It's important to know, why is this thought there? It's because you have lack of clarity on what you are worth. You have a lack of clarity on what you have to offer. You have no belief in why somebody should hear what you have to offer and to say. That's all. Because, see, we know Instacart is good or Kohl's is good. Costco. Oh my God, my favorite example, Costco. Thank you, Lord. Costco, okay? 600 people in 30 minutes with a pie that is all the same. I've watched it. I was amazed by it. I thought, are you kidding me? I talked to the man by the way, the old man standing at the Costco doors, counting people. Think about it. Is that going to be you? You want to be that person? In your retirement age, when everybody should be wanting to enjoy life, you stand at Costco just because you have. This guy does not stand at Costco because he loves standing at Costco counting people. Now, he stands at Costco because he needs money. Do you want to be that? Do you want that to be you? Because that could be you. Think about where are you headed? Is that what you want? Or do you want to create in the time of your life now that you still have, breathing, having an opportunity to make money off your phone from your couch? Okay. Do you want to put some time in now to learn a way how to build online business, which it could be anything. It could be network marketing. It could be coaching. It could be selling things on Etsy. It doesn't matter what it is you're selling. Yes. Bottom line is, remember, I talked about belief. Whatever it is you're selling, if you're not doing it, you might not believe in it. So work on the belief. Do you think it works for you? Why are you doing it if not? Okay. Think that's something to work through. Now, the person, Costco, standing there. I talk to him because that's what I do. I talk to everybody. I don't know why. I'm introverted. I talk to everybody. So I talk to him. I'm like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? You were sitting here shortly before Thanksgiving, like, wow, so many people, huh? And he's like, yes, 600 within the last 30 minutes. I'm like, what? 600 people walked into that door, into my local Costco within 30 minutes that he counted. That was unbelievable to me, mind-boggling. So then obviously I'm curious. Now my brain goes on, my entrepreneur brain goes, I'm looking what other people are buying, and everyone walks out the door with the same pie. Everyone had the same pie. And I thought to myself, first of all, oh yes, there's no money, right? Everybody says no money in the world, yet everybody buys the pie. Nobody figures out how to bake the pie with just a little few ingredients that are much cheaper than actually going to the store and buying the pie. Think. I'm breaking your blueprint right now. You are all in a rat race of doing the same old 600 people do in 30 minutes. Sheep. You're walking from here to here. Why? Nobody really knows. We're just doing it because I think we've been told. I don't know. You have to decide. You're an entrepreneur. If you are here, you're an entrepreneur of some sort, right? At least you're curious about an opportunity. You have to decide, are you going to build something or are you going to be a sheep like everybody else? There's nothing wrong with having a job. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong. with having the security of this paycheck that is coming in. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be also having a plan B. Okay. I do not think that anybody should be a full-time business entrepreneur until they have regular money coming in every month. Okay. You should be working on your job. It should be your first priority. Then build something. But why are you just following? Do you even like the pie? It's a question, right? It's a question. If you are following a belief system that your friends, your family, your circle has, and you're just following that just because, do you even like it? See, sometimes we don't prioritize our goals. Sometimes we don't inspire others. Sometimes we don't walk the journey because we are like really scared of just defining our own worth and standing alone and working on our own. But it's going to take a leader to build a business. And the decision really boils down to you deciding, are you going to be the leader of your pack? Are you going to be the leader of you? And sometimes you think, oh, I'm not a leader of anything. Be the leader of you. Ask yourself these questions. Do I like the pie? Do I like to be going the same route everyone else is going? Do I am comfortable in the crowd? What is the crowd doing for me? Is this going to bring me closer to where I ultimately want to go? Or is it going to take me just in the general direction? So does that make sense? When you think about it, if you see your life a certain way, if you see your house a certain way, is it going to be enough for your car to just drop you off in the proximity of that neighborhood that your house is supposed to be in? Or would it be nice if that car could, the cab or whatever, Uber, whatever you use, could actually put you right there in the driveway? Those are questions not a normal person is going to ask themselves. I'm aware. Right? So if you are talking to your tribe about this, and they're going to be like, this lady has lost her marbles. Like, nobody's asking this. That is true. I have not lost my marbles. It's just something that normal people are not necessarily asking themselves. It's people with an entrepreneurial mindset, somebody with an entrepreneurial spirit who believes that they want more from life. But you are here, so you are the one. Because the other people, they would never even get to the idea of signing on to a network marketing business or a coaching business or anything that you're building. They wouldn't even have that idea. So if you have that idea in your head, if you had a little bit of an interest, if you've been like curious about it, which you are, otherwise you wouldn't be here watching this, it's you. You have that entrepreneurial mindset. And the only thing what's standing in the way from achieving the driveway in where you want to go with your life versus the general proximity of maybe a neighborhood and maybe not even that close is the decision and the clarity of the steps that you're going to take. You have to decide that you want to do it, and then you have to decide, what is my next step? Don't look left, don't look right, because your journey is different than the one from next door, this one. It's yours. Your dream is only yours. Your goal is only yours. Your business is only yours. See, and uplines don't necessarily like this because they want you to do the same thing with you, right? Because that's how they make their money also. But it's not, it's a falsy belief. Every upline with a secure spirit and business should let you do what you want to do. Because if you can only be successful when you feel good about it. And when you are able to take your next step. And if your upline, and this is the virtual upline training here, if your upline is not secure enough in her own abilities and her own things to let you run next to her, then that's her job to grow, not yours to accommodate. Does that make sense? So it's like, sometimes when we sign on to network marketing companies, we are friends, right? It's friends. We're all doing things together, friends, friends, friends. We need to remember that we are building a business too. Yes, we can do things together as friends, but we're building a business. Now, my business looks different than Laura's business, and looks different than Kim's business, than Cheryl's business, than Gina's business. You know, you guys all look different. Your businesses look all different. And that's how it's supposed to be, because you are creating positive ripples in your circle. See, we think sometimes we need to do it just like the other one. No, you need to do it like you, because you are creating, you are inspiring, you are designed to inspire those people around you. The people who are like you, who love you, who like are feeling, identifying themselves with you. Right? Now, if that's not the case, then I could just recruit everybody. But that's not the goal, because the whole point of having freedom, you have to understand that part. The whole point of having freedom is that you don't have to do everything yourself. Network marketing grows through duplication. You recruit, you train, you duplicate. You recruit, you train, you duplicate. See, we have sometimes the fear that, oh gosh, I already do so much for my full-time job. I don't have time to do all the stuff for the other stuff. That's why you don't work, because you are already overwhelmed and it's just way more work. So how can we take on all these other people? It's very exhausting, right? I mean, at least that was my thought for a long time. I don't have any more time or resources. No, I don't. That's true. But what you're going to do is you duplicate. Okay. So Laura gets pushed out of the nest in the effort for her to fly. Gina gets pushed out of the nest for flying, right? Kim, you're going to need to be flying on your own. Cheryl, you're going to fly and you're going to push your people out of the nest to fly. You need to duplicate. That is the goal here. You know, you bring somebody on, you recruit them, you train them a little bit, you know what it is, you help them figuring out, am I in the basement? Am I needing the walls? Where am I at? What is my next step? You guide them, you feed them a little bit, but they have to do the work themselves. You can't carry everybody. That's you duplicate. And it's intended that way when you think about God putting, you know, the principle of growing a garden. It's been in the Bible for years. This is the principle. You growing a garden, he's been growing a garden. There's a reason why Adam and Eve have been put in the garden. Okay? This is not just me telling you. This is like, I mean, this is in the Bible, guys. Read it up, right? It's something, it's a principle that life goes on, and it doesn't matter what you put in the soil, but you have to put something in the soil, and you have to tend to the soil, and you have to nurture to it, and then something grows. Now that principle you put to your business, to your friendships, into your marriage, to you raising your children, your health. It doesn't matter where you are growing the garden. It's always the same principle. It's because that's how God has designed our life to flourish. And if you need belief as to why this will work, okay, and it's not enough for you to see the hundreds of thousands of people who are already gone before you, don't take my word for it. Take this old principle of the Bible, that if you put something into the ground and you nurture it and you water it and you make sure it has the right amount of sand, you know, sun and something will grow, period. It's always going to happen. Something will grow. Okay. So here, if you are not seeing any results, if you're not doing the things, it can only be troubleshooting at place. What is not happening? Are you not watering? Meaning engaging with your contacts. Do you not have the right soil? Meaning you don't have an audience. Do you not plant the seed? Meaning asking anybody if they're open to. Which one is it that you're not doing? Well, maybe you're not doing it all because you don't think that there should be a garden in the first place. In that case, can you imagine God would have not thought about the garden and would have not put Adam and Eve in there? Okay, don't talk to me about evolution now. I can't explain any of that. But you guys get the point, okay? It doesn't matter where you look at this principle. If you put something into the ground, it will work. You just have to figure out where you're not putting enough sunshine, where you're not putting enough water, where you're not putting enough warmth, what is missing. But it will work if you're fixing the things. Fixing the things means growing the skills. So being clear. What is your situation like? What skills do you need to grow? And then you need to take action, right? God did not give us a perfect cake ready made to eat from Jewel in the bakery. Okay? God gave you skills and opportunity and breath. You have ingredients. What you want your cake to look like is what you need to decide. Maybe you're not going to even make a cake. Maybe you're just going to be eating cupcakes or cookie dough, which is also good. There's no judgment. There's no judgment, but you need to be deciding, like, you need to stop feeling sorry for yourself if you decide to eat cookie dough, that you don't have the Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte, right? Like, you got to decide, and when you decide, that's what you need to be happy with. Now, I've done that. People told me the same thing before, and then I wasn't happy. Like, I felt I decided, but I wasn't happy with the decision that I've made. But I've kind of decided because I was scared. I didn't want to do the work. So I was afraid. Okay. If that's the case, that's a decision you take. You're making the decision to let fear win. Okay. You can also make the decision to do it scared. You can also make the decision to say, you know what? I am going to just jump. I started the workshop series at my local church. I've done now 3 already for the teenage parents. I was like so scared. And now I'm doing the preschool series. And Wednesday is my first on anxiety and overcoming fear in little hearts. I'm terrified. I don't know who's going to show up. I don't know. But you know, how do you ground yourself in fear? You ground yourself by focusing on what you're good at. What are your skills? What can you do? I am good in finding resources, right? My skill is to show up just authentically vulnerable the way how I am and laugh when I push the pastor accidentally off the stage. It's happened to me too. And guess what? I was terrified. I thought to myself, like, oh my gosh, I'm on next to the altar and here I go, push him out of the way and say, sorry, I wasn't done yet, right? In my old fashion. And I was like blushing. I thought like, oh, for sure he's gonna be super mad at me. I'm gonna, be in hell for it. But guess what the result was? The whole congregation said, you know what? Thank you, thank you, thank you for showing us that you don't have to be perfect being up there. So when you like take this example and start realizing what message should God use me in here, right? He took me being flawed, making mistakes, And he turned it into something beautiful where he ended up showing the congregation, you don't have to be perfect, you just have to show up. Just have to show up. You have to just take those ingredients that you've been given, ground yourself into what are my big pillars? What do I believe in? And you have to show up. Okay, so that concludes my training for week 2 of this year, right? Is it week 2? I think it's week 2. Now, gain clarity, guys. Let that sink in. Listen to the recording. I'm going to email it out. Listen to this recording on a couple more times. Really, like, take that moment and check your mindset. Don't compare yourself with other people. Don't have any expectations as to what it should look like to build an online business, because yes, you have those shiny different things all over the place. I just saw just now Instagram training over here. That is, and I wanted to, because all entrepreneurs have shiny object syndrome, where you immediately go like, oh, I should be looking at that. I should be looking at that. I should be trying this. I should be doing this. Really? Do you really need to do that right now? Is that your next step? You have to discipline yourself to figure out, what am I going to do from here to here? What is my next step? What does that look like? Am I building an audience right now? And what does winning look like for me? How are you going to recognize when you win if you don't even if you don't recognize it, if you don't even know what it should be look like? You're going to feel like a failure your whole life. No one can set those expectations but you. Right? Okay. All right. I hope this was helpful. And I'd love, anybody has any questions? Laura, do you have any questions right now? Should we open up the floor? You're like, I'm not asking anything after this 45-minute training. All right. If anyone has any questions, feel free to message me. Ask me. This is what I'm here for. And do the work, guys. Just let it sink in. Figure out, do you want to be one of the 600 people walking out with the pumpkin pie out of Costco? Or do you want to do it? Yes. So that was one. Like, do you want to be the sheep, right? Running like everyone else? Or do you want to define your own path? Do you want to be the guy who sits at Costco? And I'm sorry if that's what you are, like, it doesn't mean that you can't get out of it, right? But do you want that for your life when you get older? Do you want to be sitting there having to count people for extra cash? Or do you want to, maybe now that we are in our whatever prime of life, and I assume you all are, you have opportunity to build online businesses, right? Do you not want to give it your all? Because we know that if we tend to the seeds, they're gonna grow. But the decision is on to everyone. So check your mindset, check your belief. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and I'll see you all next week.